Hey guys. So today I decided we're going to talk about finances, budgeting, money, all the things that nobody wants to talk to you about because they're all like, I don't want to tell you. Okay, well, let's get real. Nobody teaches you budgeting in high school anymore. I don't know why. They don't, at least at my school in Anne Arundel County, public schools at Southern High School, nobody taught me how to budget. Nobody taught me how to pay taxes. Nobody taught me how to do anything productive, really. I mean, like, I had some good teachers, and they taught me the shit that I needed to take my tests. And I was a straight A student. So, like, sure, I was great at school, whatever. I wasn't, but I didn't show up for most of school. But whatever, not the point. So, nobody really teaches you these things, and I have had probably close to 10 friends come to me and say, oh, I don't know how to budget. Oh, I have no money. You know, you hear all these things like, okay, I don't have no money. I'm broke. I'm poor. I can't do everything that you do. Okay, first off, I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing. I don't pay for nothing. I'm kidding, but I got a lot of bills. But I don't do all these crazy fun things all the time. That's the tea. You know, I'm not out there traveling to Europe, which I will be doing at some point. Y'all just don't know it. But I have a plan. I have a budget. I follow steps. I manage my money better than most adults that I know. And I did this all by trial and error and finding a online financial coach who gives out free information. I mean, like, he has books and stuff, but I've never bought any of them. And I've done that all on my own. Nobody on this planet can tell me they helped me do a budget ever in my life. I don't even think my parents actually do an actual budget. I don't know. I don't care. That's their problem. But with all my friends coming to me, and I just did a budget plan with somebody yesterday, talking about budgeting and stuff, I figured I would just do a video because there are other people who are not my friends. And there are people who are my enemies who probably need this video too. And not really, I don't have enemies. I have people who hate me, but whatever. So, first things first, you need a budget. Y'all need a budget. You need to follow your budget. You need to track your budget. You need to know what a budget is. If you have income, if you pay bills, if you do anything with money, you need a budget. I don't care if you are a millionaire. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care. I really do not care. If you do not budget, you don't know where your money's going. You don't know how much you're spending, how much you're saving. You know, like, you don't know that information. Like, I don't really care what you say. You do not know that information unless you have a budget. Oh, well, my bank account tells me at the end of the month how much I spent and how much I made. Okay, that does not help you audit your spending. Like, just because it tells you spent $2,000 in the last month, it does not tell you, oh, well, I spent $200 in gas, and I spent $800 in fast food, and like, stuff like that. You need to know so you can adjust so that you can do things with your money and get out of debt. So, the basic understanding of a budget is you take how much money you have, like in your savings, your checking, everything, you write it all out. Here, let me. So, this is a budget plan that I did yesterday. It's a very vague one. I did not go into details. I mean, it's kind of detailed. It's like by category, but it's not detailed enough. I'm still working on it. But so this person, I'm not gonna tell you who it is, has $2,000 in their savings account and $1,000 in their checking account with like a little change. So I'm just rounding down. When you have money, you round down. When you have debt, you round up. That's just an easy thing to do. And about other page. I need my calculator. See, you guys need calculators, or you need to be able to do really good mental math. And I don't trust myself, especially in the morning, doing mental math. I did in high school. I don't know why I did, but I did. So this person has almost $50,000 in debt. It's $49,745. So I'm rounding up. It's $50,000 in debt. Luckily, yesterday, some of it got taken care of. So that is no longer, I believe, let's see, drop out. So it is actually now this person has $48,445 in debt. They knocked out $1,300 of their debt yesterday, which is amazing. But so you need to know how much debt you have and how much money you have. And then you need to zero budget. So a zero-based budget is you take your income for the month. If you don't know it, you have to estimate. Like me, I'm self-employed. I estimate my budget every single month. I have absolutely no idea how much or how little money I'm bringing in until it happens. I pick up jobs. I lose jobs, shit like that. Plans change for families. They don't need me. I drop, stuff like that. So you estimate. I estimate in my budget, depending on the month. Like, I will audit my calendar, of course. I'm not going to be outrageous and be like, oh, well, I only have 2 clients this month, but I'm still going to make, like, $3,000. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to make $3,000 with 2 clients. Unless those 2 clients are really, really motivated to have me at their house every day. But that's not likely. So like estimate, this month, I think I estimated like $2,000. It could probably be more than that. Depending on holidays and stuff, because there's Easter this month. So you estimate your money, and then you write down all your bills. So there's, your debts. So all of your minimum payments on your debts, your car insurance, your health insurance, your, everything that you pay for. So I also use a budgeting app. It's called Mint. It's run by the same people who run TurboTax. The company, gosh, what is their name? Intuit? I think that's their name. Hold on, let me see. Customer care, I think it's in here. Yeah, Intuit. So Intuit Incorporation, they run this app. It's all linked to my bank accounts. So it automatically puts in the information. I don't have to edit it. Some people don't trust things like that, but it's run by the same people who do your taxes. So seriously, like, get over it. And it's really nice. It shows you, how much money you have. Wow, I'm totally telling everyone how much money. And, like, how much credit card debt. So, like, your debt is right there. And then how much money you have, which I can't access some of that money. So, really, I do not have that money. I have a CD, which, like, locks my money, which is good for me, so I don't spend it. And then it tells you how much you've spent in the last 7 days. So there's, like, our Verizon bill. I bought straws, these little straws on Amazon. And it shows you also, like, your money coming in as well. My camera doesn't like my phone very much. But, like, it shows you your money coming in, like a deposit from a Venmo account and a check that I got and another Venmo account deposit. And then it'll show you like the dumb stuff, like sign up for this credit card, blah blah blah. I don't sign up for credit cards. And then you get to your budget. So my April budget is looking good according to their app. And then it opens up all your categories. So the one that's yellow, it means it's close to your like limit, and that's our cell phone bill, which is whatever. Like, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close to that number every month. So it's yellow because it's yellow. Like, we estimate that we're gonna spend that much. But I have like my insurance, gas, the internet bill, our phones, the utilities, fast food, groceries, restaurants, and shopping in this budget. And then I also do a cash budget because I also have cash. But that's for in this app. Like, I don't do my cash budget on this app. And then it also will tell you how much you've spent. So we have spent, well, this is linked to my personal accounts, and then it's also linked to our house account, which is why I say we spent. It's not linked to like Michael's accounts. It's just linked to our joint account for the house, which is what the mortgage comes out of, which is why we've spent over $1,000 this month so far, because our mortgage comes out the first of the month. So it'll break it down for you. That's our mortgage, the $1,300. And then it'll say like other, I spent $65 on. Shopping, I've spent $165. Bills and utility, I've spent $200. And it'll pull up like for other, let's see, what is my other? It'll pull up your transactions. It'll tell you what it is. So mine was buying Rita's, LOL, because now we live down the street from them. Chinese food, LOL, again, I'm really bad with my diet right now. And then gas. So it'll break it down for you just like that, and it'll show you your trends of how much you've spent and how much you've made. You know, what your net income is versus all that dumb stuff. Well, I mean, it's not dumb. That's why we're talking about it. It's not dumb. You really do need to know it. And then it'll tell you if you spent or earned more money so far. I have spent $143 more than I have earned, which is not correct because this doesn't account for any of the cash that I earn, and I haven't deposited some checks because I'm so lazy. I'm not actually lazy. I don't know why I just said that. I'm really busy. That's my problem. But so far wow. Wait, what? Oh no. That's not even accurate actually right now. It was like, oh, LOL, you've earned $1,500 so far this month, but that's not accurate because we just transferred money to an account. So we didn't actually earn that money. It's just transferred to a different account, which is now being... Anyway, I need to update everything in here. I was just showing you guys that it's... And it'll also tell you your bills, so you can put in your bills. So, like, I have my cell phone bill, my car insurance, that's kind of stuff. I do not have a car payment. I do not ever plan on having another car payment ever in my life. So if I hear one more time from somebody, oh, you'll always have a car payment, people are getting throat punched. But I was just showing you the app because it's really convenient and it's really nice. I haven't updated anything in there in a couple weeks because I've just been a little busy, and I just kind of let it do its thing when it's connected to my app. Like, it just kind of runs its own self, and then when I go in to audit it, which it's now the second week of April, and I haven't audited for this month, so I need to get on that. But I typically spend a good amount of time just like going through and auditing it, making sure I know where my money is, what I'm spending it on, those sort of things. So, running low on water. So that app is really, really helpful if you do not know anything about budgeting. That app will kind of take you through the steps. They have categories already set up, so it's really easy to just kind of click the categories you need, X out the categories you don't. You can add your own categories if like something like child support is not in there. I don't know if it's not in there. I obviously don't pay child support, but like things like that. If you think about oh, well, I have to pay my taxes. So say you owe taxes. Well, you can put in there like your transactions for the taxes and things like that. But zero-based budgeting, which is I think what I was talking about previously to showing you the app. Zero-based zero-based budgeting is when you take your income for the month. So say you earn $3,000 for the month, you take that and you write down all your bills and how much they're going to cost you. You find out how much money you're going to have left over. And then with that money left over, you allocate it to specific places. So you have $0 at the end of the month left. You have $0 at the end of the month in your budget from your income left. So what do you do with the money that you have left over? Because hopefully you're making more money than you need to pay your bills. That's kind of the hope here, is you make more income than you have bills. If you don't, you should really talk to me, because I got other stuff for you. Like, join our Facebook group. Back to what I was saying. What do you do with that money? So say you make $3,000 and your bills for the month only come to $2,000. Well, you have $1,000 left. That's when we go into the steps. So Dave Ramsey is a financial advisor. He's also a millionaire. He's got podcasts, books. He's got a website. A bunch of free resources. You can also get stuff at the library that he's written. And he's also got, things that you can purchase. I don't recommend, if you're in debt, to go out and purchase all his books and all his little videos and things like that. I've never purchased anything from him, and I follow the plan as I see fit. There are different ways, and there are very true Dave Ramseyers. I'm not one of them. I have certain beliefs that Dave Ramsey people do not / have different beliefs. But his overall steps are really great. It's basically steps to get out of debt, to pay off your house, to get a college fund, to pay into your retirement, like all these things. And there are a lot of people, like I'm in a Facebook group I'm actually in 2 different Facebook groups for Dave Ramsey, and there are a lot of people, and I mean a lot, like probably close to millions of people. No, there's definitely millions of people who follow his programs and are debt-free and, are living really well. Including himself. He literally filed bankruptcy and went from bankruptcy to being a millionaire. So if you think that you're worse than he is, you're wrong. So his steps, there's not 5. There's 7 baby steps. So the first one, I'm also like, I have notes because everyone has notes. I gotta follow along. My brain's everywhere. So the first step is to have $1,000 in your emergency fund. So your emergency fund can be in cash. It can also be a savings account. It can be whatever the hell you want it to be. If you want gold bricks that are worth $1,000, then so be it. But $1,000 in an emergency fund. If you have more than that in your savings account and you have debt, guess what we're doing with that money? We're paying some debt. That's exactly what happened with the person I was with yesterday. That's what happened. I told you they had $2,000 in their savings account and $1,000 in their checking. Well, their savings account now has $1,000 in it. So once you can build up the $1,000 in your emergency fund, if you don't have a savings account and you don't have $1,000, the recommendation is to pay all of your bills, still pay your minimums on all your debts, everything, and then save as much money as possible in as little time as possible. So Pack your lunch. Stop buying a $10 lunch. You're absolutely absurd. Stop buying a $40 dinner. Freaking cook at your house. And there are ways around not cooking at your house, I promise. Like, we can't cook. Like, we don't have a kitchen right now, which we eat out. I can't even say that we try very hard to cook. We don't. We're really busy, and we do eat out, but it is in our budget. It is budgeted in to our budget with how much money we spend on food. We 100% can do it, and so can you. So, back to what I was saying. Stop buying unnecessary stuff. Stop buying shit on Amazon. Like, you do not need that $500 purse. Nobody needs a $500 purse, I promise. Like, if you want it, great. But wait until you're out of debt. Shoes should not cost you that much money. And I have one whole pair of shoes that have cost me a lot of money, and they're Birkenstocks, and I wear them every day. I treat them like gold. I take care of them. I 100% budgeted that into my budget, and I do not regret that purchase at all. I already had my emergency fund, and I did not owe a lot of debt when I purchased those. But that was something that I wanted and budgeted, and I saved up for it. It's called a sinking fund. We'll get to that in a minute. But it did not cost me $500 for those pair of shoes. It cost me more like $150 for those shoes. And I don't want to hear it. Like, don't want to hear how much. You don't get to judge me on how much I spent on those shoes. I don't care if you think they're Jesus sandals. I don't care if you think they're ugly. I don't care. They're there for my hips, my back, my knees, my ankles, all the shit that's wrong with me. They support, and I don't care. So, back to what I was saying. You know, your Balenciaga, Michael Kors bullshit. Take your ass to a discount store or Goodwill or something. You do not need name brand shit. Not when you're in debt. You really don't. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason somebody could give me. I don't care if your job is high end. There are high end knockoffs. You know, I do not care. People try and create all these images for everybody else to, like, judge people on, and it's just, like, so stupid. The fact that all these people are going into debt because they want to look cool or they want to look like they have money when, like, really you just put that on a credit card that you're not paying off. Like, come on, guys. Get with it. So anyway, done with ranting. So, wow, what was I saying? Okay, take down your expenses. So, you've got to stop buying a bunch of stuff, basically. If you do not have $1,000 in your savings account or an emergency fund, you have to have a no-spend month. A no-spend month is when you do not spend any unnecessary money to live. So, you do not buy new clothes unless it is necessary for you to live. I guarantee you, you have plenty of clothes. If you do not have plenty of clothes, that's a different issue, and you can message me and we'll talk. The fact that you have a phone or a computer or something where you can watch this video and you don't have enough clothes, that's a problem. You don't have your priorities straight. Like, get it together. Get it together. So, you have enough clothes. Make them work. Make them fit. You know, hem your own shit. Like, I don't even, like, if you want to be out of debt, you'll be out of debt. If you want to continue the lifestyle you live and be in debt and be unhappy, then that's on you. So, you don't spend no money on clothes, you don't get no shoes, you don't do none of that. You don't go to the movies, you don't buy an Amazon package every 5 days, nothing. You know, you're paying for your house, your 4 walls. 4 walls. Keep your 4 walls up. And by 4 walls, I mean your house. Wow, this stuff irritates me a little bit. I'm sorry. Keep your 4 walls up, keep clothes on your back, and keep food in your stomach. That's your goal. That's your golden ticket right there. Don't do no other spending. Pay your bills and save that $1,000. Once you're done with that, shoot, you're on a good track. So you got your $1,000, and the $1,000 is so that if something happens while you are paying off your debt, you don't go into more debt trying to fix whatever the problem is. So your tire needs to be replaced. Your water pump goes bad. Whatever it is. I don't even know how much it costs to actually replace a water pump, but I would hope it's not more than $1,000. And some people tailor it. If they have a big household, they do more than $1,000, and that's fine. That's not the Dave Ramsey way, but like I said earlier, I'm not 100% Dave Ramsey anyway. That's fine. You can tailor the program to yourself 100% every time. Don't get carried away. Like, you do not need $10,000 in an emergency fund. Be reasonable. Like, you gotta be reasonable. So the next step is to pay off your debt in a snowball. If you don't know what I mean, I'm going to explain it. So, say I owe $100 on my cell phone, because I don't own my cell phone outright for whatever reason. So $100 to pay off my cell phone. I owe $10,000 to pay off my car. And I owe $700 to my credit card company. And I owe $20,000 in student debt. This is all consumer debt that we're referring to. We're not referring to your house. We're not referring to your mortgage. That is a separate step. We're not there yet. So, the $100 that I owe to my cell phone company is the smallest. Then it would be the $700 I owe to the credit card company, the $10,000 I owe on my vehicle, and the $20,000 I owe on my student loans. So, you write it out as so. You've got the $100 to the cell phone company, the $700 to the credit card company, the $10,000 to your car, and the $20,000 in student debt. Like so. We've got that right here. So, your minimum payment for your cell phone a month is $15. The minimum payment on your credit card is $50. The minimum payment for your car every month, your car payment is $200, and your student debt is $200 as well. So all of your minimum payments combined are $475. And look, I'm doing head math, and we're not ready for that. And it's morning time, so bear with me. So your minimum payments every month are $475. You better be coming up with that $475. If you're not, then you need to prioritize some other things. Sell everything you own. There's a lot of ways you can get a Dave car, sell your car. You can have a Dave job. And actually, the term for the Dave car is not actually a Dave car. It's basically when you sell your car to buy something in cash, so you don't have a car payment, you get rid of your car payment, or you take public transportation, or you bike, or whatever it is, but you get rid of your car payment. And some people can do it, and some people are just not those kind of people. If you're not committed, then you're not committed, but, you do what you have to do to get out of debt. So, your total consumer debt, it is $30,800. So $30,800. Sorry, I need to stretch. I'm still tired and stuff. So that's your total debt. That's a lot, but you have to have the numbers out because you have to know what you're working towards. So, say in your first month, you are able to take your extra money that you had in your savings account that added up more than $1,000. So say, okay, we'll just use yesterday as an example. You have an extra $1,000. So where does your $1,000 go? Well, like I said, we're starting with your smallest amount, and then we're going to snowball, and I'll tell you about that once we start. But you can knock out your first debt, your second debt, and some of your third debt with that $1,000. Isn't that great? Yes, it is. So we get rid of your first debt. That's $100 gone. You get rid of your second debt. That's another $700. So that's $800 in total. You have $200 left. So you put that towards your $10,000 on your car. So now we're tallying out. So now we have $9,800 to the car and $20,000 to the student loans. So you still have your $200 minimum payment on both of those. So you still have to come up with the $400 no matter what. But since we knocked out the two before, and that was $75 every month, you're now taking that extra $75 and you're putting it towards your car payment. So now, instead of the $200 you're paying every month, you're going to make an additional payment, or just add to your payment depending on how you pay it, the $75. So you're going to pay the $275 every month towards the car. See? Now, once that debt gets knocked out, and you can do that as fast as possible or not as fast as possible, depending on if you just want to make that minimum payment of $275, or if you want to add more by doing other things to make up more money, like your zero budget. If you have extra money left over, you can do like an entertainment, a sinking fund, and then add extra money to your debt. You definitely want to get through your debt. Like, that's the step that you're working towards. So say you, again, make $3,000 in the month, and your minimum payments right here are $475. So you subtract your $475, you subtract your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is, you subtract all that out, and let's just say you have $1,000 left. Again, we're going with 1,000. You can either make more budgeting tabs. So in addition to your standard budget, I'm going to talk about a sinking fund. So sinking fund is a way to prevent going into debt and saving up for certain things like house maintenance or car maintenance, or you know that you're going to have to pay for your child's photos or their yearbook or whatever it is. You know that you're going to have to pay it. You know at the end of the year you're going to have to pay for your dog to get their rabies shot. You're going to have to pay for the oil change in your vehicle. You're going to have to pay for, you know, your taxes or whatever it is. You create a sinking fund for that. So for your kids, you can create a sinking fund for birthdays and Christmas and things like that. So you can make a kids sinking fund, and every month you put, since you have $1,000 left over, let's say you have one kid, you can put $100 in there every month. So now you have $900 left. So your kids get $100 into their, it's not theirs, it's just labeled the kids, so that you can track, you know, what you're spending on them as well. So if they have something come up like a field trip, or they have yearbook photos, or Spirit Day that they need a t-shirt for, or they need whatever it is that the kids need. They ruin a pair of shoes and they need a new pair, and you don't have clothing in your budget, then you need to think about putting clothing in your budget. But you also have a sinking fund of however much money in there that you can take out. It saves you from going into debt by using your credit card or going into your sinking or into your emergency fund, and it saves all that. So now you have the $900 left over. Say you want to eat out at least once a month. And eating out for your family looks like spending $100. Okay, so you start a sinking fund, or you put it in your budget depending on if you want to do it every month Or, because if you're doing it every month, it needs to go in the budget. If you're doing it every once in a while, it needs to go into a sinking fund. So the sinking fund, we'll just say we're doing it every once in a while. Sinking fund for dining out is $100 every month. So now we're down to $800. Well, you want to put additional $500 towards your car every month. So now instead of paying the $275, you're paying $775 every month. You really want to knock out this debt. You have a great job, you don't have a lot of bills, whatever. So now you've got that extra $500 going there, and then you have the $200 going to the sinking fund. So you have $300 left over. Let's just say maintenance is your next sinking fund. You're going to put the other money there. So what did I say? Oh, geez, 5, 6, 7. So $300 going into maintenance. So there's all your money. There's no money left over at the end of the month. There's not anything left. So your budget has your clothing, it has your shopping, it has your groceries, it has your gas, it has your everything. If something happens, you can obviously pull money from certain budgeting. You're going to be over and under for a little while. You're going to have to figure out your sweet spot. But you're now adding $500 to your car debt every month. And if there's a month that you can't do it, then you knock it down. But you still pay the minimum. And the new minimum is not, the minimum is not what they tell you. It's, the minimum from them is $200 a month. The minimum now is $275. You better still be coming up with that $475 every month, so that $275 can go to the car. That's its new minimum. That's how the snowball works. When that is over, you now take that extra $275 and put it towards the student debt. So now you're putting $475 all on student loans. If you're putting $500 on top of the car every single month, I suggest you take that $500 and you put it towards the student debt. So now you're putting the additional $500. So you're putting the $775 onto the student debt, which already has $200. So now you're putting $975 every month at that student debt until it is gone. After all of your debt is gone, like me, you start another savings. So on top of your $1,000 savings, you take however much money it costs to live in your house to keep your house afloat. So if you are spending $3,000 a month, the money that you make, and you're spending all of it instead of putting some, and also a sinking fund can literally just mean I'm going to add $20 to my savings account every month. You can pay yourself. And by pay yourself, I mean put shit into your emergency fund or your savings account. You shouldn't, in my opinion, be doing that until you're done with your debt. But you can, because like I said, you tailor it to however you feel is comfortable. But the point of the $1,000 in your savings account and not having any more is so that you're uncomfortable, so that you pay off your debt quicker, and then you get comfortable. But that's everybody else's decisions. I ain't gonna say nothing. But the next step is to save 3 to 6 months, depending on what you prefer, of your household spending in a savings account. So if you are spending $3,000 every month, the minimum you are going to be doing on the third step is $9,000 into that savings account. So then you will have $10,000 in emergency money. That is your savings fund. That now is a savings fund for your household. That is for if somebody gets into a car accident, they have a bad surgery, they lose their job, anything like that where income ceases completely. You have that to fall back on. Or if something comes up, like you need to buy a new car, or you need to buy a part for your car, or something like that. That is where that money comes from. That is, I'm out of debt, and I'm not going back into debt ever again, ever again. That is your step right there. And that's where I'm at right now. So we're working on it. Your next step after that, and you can do 3 months or you can do 6 months, it is up to your preference on how fast you want to get to retirement, or, what you are comfortable with having in your account. Like, that is up to you. The next step is to put 15% into your retirement. So 15%, and you can either do that monthly or you can do your annual 15% into a retirement account. There are multiple different kinds of retirement accounts. I'm not going to tell you which ones are better than the others. You need to talk to your bank and talk to a financial advisor, because if I give out financial advice like that, I could probably get into trouble or something. I don't know. Somebody can yell at me and tell me I'm telling them things wrong or something. I don't know. I'm not telling you what kind of retirement to do. A pension's really nice because you don't have to pay into it, but you should be doing something on top of your pension, and your 401k, you can put your 15% into that depending on. Okay, I'm not getting into details, actually. I decided that I'm against that. If somebody wants to talk about it personally, they can message me, but I feel like I'm not on that step, and it's not my place to tell you where to put your money for retirement because I don't have a retirement. Michael does. Michael does really well with his keeping up with his retirement and things. Shout out to Michael because he's got his life together. But I don't have a retirement fund yet because I'm not there. That's not my step. I'm not worried about it. Not there. The following step after that is a college fund. That is for your children, for yourself, for your spouse, whatever, whoever needs to go to college or plans on going to college. If they need money to go to college, that's where you're putting your money, is into a college fund. If you do not have to go back to college, you already did your time. You don't have no kids, your spouse ain't going, nobody that you're worried about is going to college, great. Skip the step. Next step is pay off your house. So everyone who owns a house, nope, I'm not doing that because that's kind of like the same thing as a car. Everyone who had to borrow money to purchase their house still needs to pay off their house. So you have a loan, you have a mortgage, whatever it is, you're paying back whoever, even if it's family. Excuse me. Anyway, anyone who has a mortgage, you're paying it off on this step. So you're throwing all your extra money at the principal of your loan. So what does that mean? You go to the online loan program, or you call the office, or however you do it. You call them and you say, okay, I'm going to start making regular payments of this amount to the principal only at this date or whatever, or you just do it randomly. You make extra payments whenever you can. At this point, you have all your debt paid for. You're not back in debt. You have no debt. You have your savings, you're set. All of your extra money, 100%, anything outside of your budget and your sinking funds, which is part of your budget, goes to the house. You still are doing zero budgeting. You still have zero money left over at the end of the month. If you want to adjust your budget throughout the whole entire process, you are able to do that. That is your freedom. You should do that. You just should do that because you're not going to have debt. So that money, the extra $1,000 a month that you're throwing at your debt because you only have, you're making $3,000, even probably at this point, you're probably making more. But say you're making $3,000 a month and your expenses are only $2,000. Well, that money, that extra money, that $1,000, even though we made a sinking fund, so in reality, it is what now? 3, 4, 5. So it's $500 a month. So that $500 a month every time goes to your mortgage. And on top of that, you should have the additional $475 every month. So in reality, you should be making a payment of almost $1,000 a month extra on your house. And then the last step, which is everyone's favorite, is you build the wealth that you want up to whatever you want. you save for whatever you want. You do what you want, and then you give back, and you donate, and you volunteer, and you do whatever it is that is in your heart that is giving. So if you donate to charities, if you donate to the church, if you give back to your community by running a volunteer program or a community service or whatever it is, you take the extra money, the extra time, whatever it is that you have. Because some people don't want to give up their money, and that's fine. But you've got to make time. You've got to give back. You've got to teach other people about the program, about getting out of debt, about all of the blah, 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 schmaw that you had to go through in order to get there, to help other people, to give back to them, to do everything that you can to be nice, because that's what life's about. And that's a great little thing. So, I think I've talked about a lot. And if I totally skipped over something, or you have questions, or you want to join the Facebook groups, or whatever it is, you're more than welcome to message me. And if you seriously are confused about budgeting, message me. I'll help you. It's fine. I did a video, but it wasn't detailed to certain people, and some people don't know how to work cell phones, or they don't know how to work a spreadsheet, or they don't even know how to just write up a budget. That's fine. Like, you don't have to know because nobody taught you. And if somebody did if somebody did teach you, please just listen. Like, I swear, everyone in my age group currently is probably in a shit ton of debt. Primarily I read an article about this the other day. It was like the average 23-year-old's net worth is negative 30,000 or something. It's like crazy ridiculous. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember the exact number or age. But it's like somebody in their 20s is worth negative money because they're in so much debt from school, from college. And I paid college out of pocket by myself, which is why I am taking a year off again. And I really don't care how other people feel about it. It's disappointing, but it's fine. Like, it's completely okay, because I will pay for it eventually. I will get through it eventually, and I will not have student debt. I will not have a student loan. I'll take that to my grave. I will never have a student loan. Student loans are outrageous with payback, and I really don't care if you think it's a great option. For me, it's not an option. So there are ways to do it, and you seriously, like, people my age should not have a negative net worth. That is absolutely absurd to me. And, like, we're not gonna pretend like I started out with no debt. Mommy and Daddy didn't pay for my shit. I paid off my $16,000 car. Let me repeat. I have paid off my $16,000 car. My car is 100% worth it. I drive it every day. It has very low mileage. I take care of it. It's amazing. It runs great. I have friends who can help me if something goes wrong. Like, praise Jesus, because I ain't taking that shit to a shop anymore. I did that once. Big mistake. But I had that. I had medical debt. I had I didn't really actually have credit card debt. I keep a credit card. Dave's way is not to have a credit card. I keep a credit card. My credit score is amazing. I pay my credit card before it's due every month. I make multiple payments. I don't have credit card debt. I don't know why I even said that. I've never once had credit card debt. I've never carried a balance. Nothing. Because of this program, basically. But I had medical debt. I had my car, my cell phone, things that people don't think about, like people who say you're always going to have a car payment, you're always going to have a mortgage payment. Y'all don't even know. My life is great without a car payment. It was stressful paying off my car. It was not something that I chose to do. It was something I was a little bit forced into to pay off my car, but I did it, and it freed me up a lot, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. But that's a story for another day. Y'all can do it if I can do it, especially because I make under like 10 grand a year, depending on the year. So, figure it out.